Hi Aries, welcome to your extended reading for the month of October 2023. So right off the bat, wow, interesting. Okay, so not going to get to these cards yet, just Patience Tarot. I want to talk about October and some of the astrology so that we can dive into your themes a little bit better. Now, September was all about reflecting, reevaluating, right? And so a big theme for Aries for the last 6 months has been in our relationships. Now, October is bringing kind of a turning point when it comes to our relationships, okay? And before Scorpio season, we really want to assess the relationships that we want to nurture and the relationships that need to fall away. Now, this can be career, this can be personal, but what I've been telling Aries and what I've been telling a lot of the fire signs is that you don't want to be scared of water, okay? We want to allow the benefits of water energy into our lives. So that's our emotional fulfillment. And fire tends to be scared of water, and there's no need to fear it. So one of the biggest lessons I think for Aries is to accept that water into your life, okay? Like allow yourself to feel and don't see it as weakness. Really embrace your bold emotions with emotional regulation, right? Because one of the biggest things I feel like Aries has learned in the last 6 months has been related to how we speak our emotions and how we show our emotions, okay? And we want to evolve into a very emotionally balanced nature. So also a big thing too to bring up, we are still feeling the effects of that Aries full moon that was at the end of September. And we'll be feeling its effects into the eclipse season. So Mercury turned direct in September. In October, we have Pluto turning direct. And that happens October 10th. So also a numerical synchronicity of 10-10. Now, Pluto turning direct, and it's stationing direct in Capricorn. Pluto turning direct is everything that we were reevaluating, reassessing when it comes to where we're going, right? Our vision of the future. We're gonna see it in the 3D world, okay? So the things that we've been thinking about, we're going to bring about, all right? So definitely be mindful of where you are putting your energy. And like I said, especially when it comes to your relationships, because you want to nurture the ones that are fulfilling that inner light, the judgment era that's coming in with Libra season, and that really is gonna be evident during the solar eclipse on the 14th. We really want to connect to our inner light, to that inner light that is connected to our inner child, okay? So if these relationships are only serving us at face value, and our we notice too that our vibration isn't high with certain relationships, and it seems to be a repeating pattern, it might be time to let those relationships go, okay? And to walk away, all right? To not think that, well, if we just, wait it out, if we just hold on, if we just work on it a little bit more, like Aries, you know how to assert yourself. And so if there's a relationship that you feel you're not allowing yourself to do that, still shadow work too. If you haven't done your shadow work, please, please, please do it. But sometimes we subconsciously hold on to things that we think are serving us for our greater good, but they're not. And that's when we just have not faced our shadow fully. But you got this, Aries. Yeah, so once Pluto stations direct, that forward moving energy we've been feeling, we're going to feel a lot more. Now, granted, Pluto is very slow moving, so it's going to be taking its time, but we really want to keep the faith, and not only keep the faith, we really need to continue to work towards what we're trying to manifest, okay, Aries, because all of this energy has been really heavy, right? I even just put out a TikTok related to how July, it was a lizard, and it's like trying to find its, footing on this floor, and like July is chaotic, and then we felt like this forward moving finally in August, and then oops, surprise, September with all the retrogrades, and then we finally felt like we were moving forward again at the end of September. And October is where we're asked, you know, it's like the next level, okay? But like I said, it's this judgment era coming in. So we really need to reevaluate, because Pluto's stationing in Capricorn too, which is interesting. But, or stationing direct. So all of those themes from that Capricorn full moon that was in July, at the beginning of July, that really sparked off all of this, you know, major turning point. We're going to start to see the culmination of it once that eclipse starts happening in the middle of October, okay? So stay nurturing your relationships, okay? Because if you can see this as leveling up, like everything is meant to teach you so you can grow, so you can evolve your relationships to this judgment era where everybody feels liberated, right? Where you get to shine your light for all to see. And that's what we all want, all right? So yeah, anyways, October, it's going to be a lot more forward moving though, okay? Because like September, like we had August where we felt like we were moving forward and, you know, manifesting and this energy, right? Tarot showed me this for a reason. This energy of the sun and finally feeling this like magical gloriousness in August. And then September made us go, well, what the heck? So we're going to start to get that forward moving energy again. So the retrogrades were heavy in September, but they were meant to teach us something, okay? So continue to rise above, continue to utilize that Aries energy. Be bold, be fearless, but make sure that you also pay attention to nurturing your emotions, okay? And like what I love to tell people too is if there's an element that, you know, is missing in your chart, incorporate that element literally in your environment. If you're lacking water, get out into nature, take a walk near a creek or a river or the ocean. If you're lacking fire, like let's say you're an Aries sun, but that's the only fire you have in your chart, well, light some candles when you set those intentions, right? So definitely pay attention to the elements. I do have a video too related to my parent astrology about the elements and how they work together. And not just for parents, it's also for parenting your inner child, right? Because it's never too late to reparent yourself. All right, anything else I wanted to say in the pre-shuffle? But yeah, definitely relationships and like, yeah, the forward, I mean, this is, you're excited though, Aries. If anybody's going to be excited about moving forward, it's going to be you. So it's going to be fast, all right? You want to be confident. And stay with that vibration of that Aries full moon that's activating all of us in certain areas of our life to put ourselves first, take charge. So that's another important thing, is to make sure that you take a look at what house is ruled by Aries in your chart. And if you don't know that information, I always link Pam Gregory's free birth chart in every video description so that you can take a look at that. But really about seeking new experiences, okay? So if you're having some sense of burnout, make sure you rest, but don't get bogged down with the Capricorn paradigm that's crumbling, because it's really though, like the energy from it is not as intense as it was in July. I feel like it was most intense in July. But yeah, nurture those relationships, okay? You keep getting the relationships. And again, that's what the astrology is indicating for you, is this is the focus for October. So let's see if the tarot is going to continue to show that. All right, so let us see here. What do we got for Aries, October 2023 monthly tarot? I also too, yeah, so a lot of this is, can you tell I'm a Gemini rising? A lot of this is related to your shadow side, okay? So I'm going to go back to those relationships quick and the ones that we need to let go of, because a lot of our shadow is just projections of what's inside of us, right, that we haven't faced. And it grows a lot when we don't face our shadow, when we keep, hiding from it. And the Devil card really encompasses your shadow side, right? When you don't accept it and you don't do that inner work, that shadow work. So a lot of these issues with your relationships are connected to your shadow, okay? Now I'm going to be doing some videos related to shadow work, but just briefly, look at your rising sign. And whatever the opposite of your rising, see what sign that is. So like, for instance, if you're a Pisces rising, the opposite of that would be Virgo. And then take a look at the negative attributes of the opposite of your rising, because you might see a link to your shadow that needs to be addressed. So definitely pay attention to that. But I really feel like if anything's keeping your vibration low, if it's keeping your inner light, from rising to accept that judgment, inner calling, it's related to your relationships connected to your shadow and unresolved shadow side, subconscious sabotage, okay? So please take a look at that when you can and really clear that up, because Libra season is air, right? We want to lift ourselves up. We want to liberate ourselves. That's the whole point of all of this. Okay. I almost started doing your weekly. Okay, so let's take a look here. Well, this is great. Okay. So yes, it's going to be some work, but where it's heading is exactly what I was saying with your shadow side. So this is lovely to see. So the overall energy for the month of October is the Eight of Swords. So we really need to get out of our head. If I feel like we're second guessing the things that we need to do. So we really need to stop overthinking it, right? And just address what we need to address. And again, blocks, fears, that comes from your shadow, okay? Feeling stuck. Also your Saturn. Make sure you pay attention to your Saturn and what sign rules Saturn in your chart, because when we connect to our blocks, our fears, our limitations, a lot of that is connected to our shadow side, and that comes from our inner child, because that shadow comes from our conditioning. We're all just these beams of light that get put into this body, and then we're already confined to a body, and then after that we're taught how to speak and talk and think and act and walk and talk. So all of this conditioning is where our shadow arises, okay? And it's how that we are able to navigate through the world. So along with Saturn, see where Jupiter is, because Jupiter is your natural luck in life. It's your talents, right? It's how you can get yourself out of this web, okay? And all of this is in your head. So that's something really important, is to go deep within and take a look at where these blocks are originating from. And 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be your shadow, okay? So what I love too is you need more of your Aries self, okay? And what I love about the Queen of Wands is the Queen of Wands, now remember what I said about don't be scared of the water. Like, you've been getting this a lot, Aries. The Queen of Wands is ruled by Pisces and Aries, okay? So she has the balance of water and fire, all right? She doesn't fear the water. She knows that it helps her. So you can empower yourself by empowering others, and you can empower others by empowering yourself. So this is optimistic, it's generous energy, okay? This is the height of Aries energy at its best, where it's a leader, it's confident, it's generous. This, gives that energy of that Six of Wands too, of that recognition and fame, but she has all the confidence she needs. She's fearless because she has nothing to fear, okay? So I love that you need more of this in your life. So please take a look at this card and make sure that when you're feeling this Eight of Swords, that you snap out of it and get back to feeling empowered, because you are empowered if you remove these blocks from your shadow that are holding you back. So this is interesting too. So the Seven of Coins indicates that you are aware of the decisions that you need to make. Okay, so the Seven of Coins generally is like that indication of one of my favorite tarot readers, Middle Pond, they always say, is the juice worth the squeeze with this card? So you do have an idea of what you need to do. You do know the relationships that need to go. You do know the relationships that need to be nurtured more, all right, to reap the harvest. So if you're selling yourself short by getting stuck in your head, you do know, okay? So make sure you pay attention to that, all right? And if this is related to your relationships when it comes to your career too, you do know the ones that you need to cut, and you do know the ones that you need to nurture so that you can nurture your career more. So what's interesting, okay, so I love this because even though the Queen of Wands is in the position of what you need more of, the King of Wands you need less of. Okay, so this is that masculine Aries energy. So for the month of October, you need less of that assertive, bold, take no prisoners Aries energy, okay? And you need to align more with the feminine Aries, okay? This is the warrior who doesn't need to, go out there and without any emotions or, like I said, this is nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? Well, the Queen of Wands knows that there's a time and a place to assert yourself, right? So she doesn't just have that, here we go. This is the best way. Queen of Wands is emotionally regulated, okay? So she might be triggered, but she's not going to just attack, all right? So that's something too, that I think what this is really saying too is instead of the reactionary like masculine, now this isn't male or female, this is just the energy of masculine, feminine, but instead of the reactionary, you get triggered, you speak it, you get triggered, you act, you need more of the, again, the Queen of Wands has accepted her shadow. I think that's the biggest part of this, is the Queen of Wands recognizes her shadow. She embraces her shadow. She doesn't let her shadow dictate what she's doing. She recognizes it for what it is. And if she's triggered or she sees something, she understands that it's a projection and she takes her time to react. So I think that's so cool to see these two cards in these positions. I really love it. Like, this is super exciting. Okay, so now what's interesting too is the King of Swords is what you can change. Now, what I love about this is because the King of Swords is all about rationality, okay? They make choices that are just and fair, but they also take time to think. They're not reactionary, okay? So this is what I love, is seeing that you need more of this, and by doing that, you can change the way you speak, okay? And so I just really feel like a lot of this is connected to that passion and that fire not being regulated, okay? And again, this is all wonderful because this is all evolving you into something. What you need to accept too is that when it comes to what you believe is possible, the sky is the limit, okay? So again, I think that the overall theme is this idea that you can't control. And you know what? My gosh, did you get this you might have gotten this for August or July. I feel like I'm repeating myself for some reason. But you have this, tell me if I did too, you have this sense that you can't control the way you act. You can't control how you react when you're feeling triggered. You can't control these things, right? And that's the problem. You're giving away your power. And you have to stop doing that, okay? Because you can control all these things. And once you accept that, once you realize that by doing this, the potential that comes from facing these things, finally, it brings in the Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords is this whole new world, really. It's what I've been saying about the Judgment era and liberating yourself and allowing your inner light to shine. The pages are generally people. What I tend to gravitate the pages towards is children that you have or your inner child. But really, this card is speaking to your inner child and finding ways to fuel your inner flame again by facing this and accepting it is within your control, okay? You are in control of your words, your thoughts, your actions, specifically your thoughts and how you speak. Because that negative thinking, I get it. I'm a Pisces sun, Gemini moon and rising. Your thoughts can really trip you up, and it is a lifelong process. This isn't saying like congratulations, like you're done with life after this. This is just saying that this is leveling you up to the next level. There's limitless levels, okay? Just because you go from level 3 to level 4 doesn't mean that you're done. There's limitless levels to the journey of life. And that's the other thing that I think you need to hear is stop limiting yourself to your potential. Stop limiting yourself to how many chapters there are to this journey. It's limitless. If you want to keep growing, you will keep growing, okay? Very interesting. All right, so let us, you know what? We're going to save that one for last. Let us see what past life is getting us stuck in our head. Because this is fascinating. Because I am fairly certain you got this message in a previous month recently. So let's see. What past life energy is stuck on Aries, bringing forth this 8 of Swords energy? You're not, wow. You're not stuck, okay? Interesting. This one came out first, so I'm gonna go with that one. Interesting. Okay, sorry. I got really distracted by, you know what, that's speaking too much to me. One of the other cards that popped out I think is pretty important as far as feeling stuck. Okay, so the one that popped out first was communal living. And then after that was imprisonment or slavery for a past life energy. So talk about feeling stuck, okay? So I'm actually going to read both of these because, I mean, come on. So let's go with communal living first. So there were a couple more that popped out, but this one literally made me stop my thoughts. Okay, so the main past life energy that you can work with, and again, that you can do shadow work with, this lifetime significant to your question, the lifetime significant to your question involved a communal setting, such as a convent, monastery, or tribe. Your earthly needs for shelter, clothing, and food were provided for. Although you held a job within the community, you fulfilled your responsibilities for the group and not for individual gain. In your current lifetime, you may feel troubled by the concept of money, individual earnings, savings, and bills. You may feel unsupported because your soul is accustomed to having a community support system. So think of any triggers that come up, especially when it comes to your relationships, if any of those themes trigger you. To assimilate in this lifetime, find the balance and harmony between individual and group needs, between give and take. Understand how you fit into the culture and how the group can help you achieve your individual goals and aspirations. Interesting. So what I'd like to say too is this can have the complete opposite effect too, right? Like, so if you were a part of communal living and your needs weren't met, even though they were supposed to be, this could also have an effect on the, you know, Aries energy of putting yourself first type of energy, right? Okay, so let's get to this imprisonment and slavery one quick. All right, so this card signifies that you spent time imprisoned or in slavery. Your rights were taken from you, as well as your dignity and freedom. You are free now, but you still may harbor fears related to that in a past lifetime. For example, you may feel claustrophobic in confined spaces or on an airplane, or you may have developed a form of Stockholm syndrome where you feel empathetic toward those who abuse you. Interesting. You know, that could be connected to this whole connection to the relationships we're not letting go of. That's very interesting. On the other hand, your experiences can also make you feel exquisitely compassionate toward those who suffer. You may devote yourself to defending underdogs and bringing more love and justice to this world. Now, Libra season, all about justice, okay? So if that is something that you feel is connected to that inner flame, seeking justice for others, pay attention to that. To heal any residual fears from previous lifetimes, remember that the details of a past life to loosen the shackles and free yourself from any symptoms. So channel these feelings and tendencies into helping society. Acts of kindness and compassion can heal the individual. Okay, so that's, you can liberate yourself by putting more passion into helping others in this lifetime connected to this card. I love that. And what amazing journey that can be for an Aries, right? Again, going back to fueling your inner flame. I really feel like there's a lot that Aries can do with that fire energy and social justice. I love seeing this. This is wonderful. Okay, next we are going to see what crystal is going to help you on this journey of empowerment. Because really, this is about empowering you. So again, that Aries reactionary energy is just a projection of these things stuck to us from our shadow, okay? Interesting. So I love this. Okay. This is my birthstone too. So your crystal for the month of October is aquamarine, and it's simplification. So please, when these thoughts are taking over, when we're, again, building this web of complicated means of getting out of some situation, hold on to some aquamarine, okay? Wear these colors for the month of October. Take a screenshot of this card. You really need simplification right now, okay? Because whatever we're overthinking it's not, we can cut ourselves out of this web way easier than we're thinking, okay? So remember, it's like a video game, right? You can get through this level and level up, all right? I love that. Okay, so let's see what empowering question is going to help Aries unstick themselves in October to fully align with their inner light and fully accept the wake-up call that the judgment era is asking of all of us. Now remember, that eclipse too in Libra, what a perfect time if you are feeling, if you're feeling really inclined to like social justice or, you know, helping others and really embracing that judgment era of, you know, communal, talk about that too, because that Capricorn paradigm is crumbling, right? That's interesting. Okay, so I love that because if you think about it, if you did have this communal living, right? And in the collapsing of this Capricorn paradigm and how unjust it has been, you know? There's never been a perfect time to get onto that energy. Okay, so your empowering question for the month of October, what I love too, is it's very connected to these colors. Is there something in my life that makes me forget time while I'm doing it? What is it? So this is interesting because when these thoughts are getting too out of control, we can simplify our life by doing, like, again, connecting to our inner flame. And that's really what I think you're being asked to do, Aries. Okay, get out of your head. Interesting. Get out of your head, okay? I know it's hard. Like I said, I completely understand. All right, one clarifying card for Aries for the month of October. One clarifying card for this Eight of Swords. Wow, I love it. Okay, what came out is the Magician. All right, the universe, the cards, they're telling you success is yours, okay? You just have to apply yourself to getting out of this web. You have everything in you to unstick yourself, okay? So again, if this is a relationship that needs to go, empower yourself and unstick yourself, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this extended reading for the month of October. If you did, please do like, comment, and share with other people that you think this reading might resonate with. Also, check out your sun, moon, and rising for a more in-depth look at the month ahead. And if there's a particular planet that you need clarification on, what I think I'd like to suggest, I mean, obviously for you, Mercury, because of these swords, right? And your Saturn because of your fears and your blocks, so related to this card. But what I also want you to take a look at is your Pluto. Since Pluto is turning direct in October, and again, all of that stuff has been internal and now is going to be going outward. Definitely see what sign rules Pluto in your chart as well. But yeah, this is wonderful, Aries, because it's going to take some work, but you have everything in it to manifest the life that you want, okay? So have a wonderful month of October and empower yourself, okay, to break free from whatever this is. Have a great month, Aries.